The AFC North we knew is dead and buried because the unthinkable has finally happened. Mike Tomlin is officially out in Pittsburgh. The division is in absolute chaos, and the Cincinnati Bengals are the only team left standing in the rubble. This changes the power dynamic of the entire NFL for years to come. Before we dive into this madness, double-check that you've smashed that like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss a single update as this story unfolds. We had a completely different show mapped out for today. We were ready to talk strategy, we were ready to look ahead, and then the news dropped like a bomb on the entire football world. Mike Tomlin is stepping down as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let that sink in for a second. For 20 years, that man has been the face of the franchise, the villain in the AFC North, and a constant presence on that sideline. And just like that, he is gone. We honestly don't know what the Steelers look like without Mike Tomlin. It has been an impressive, iconic 2-decade run, but let's be real, it didn't end the way anyone in Pittsburgh wanted. And now he walks away. But here is the reality check that every single Bengals fan needs to hear right now. With Tomlin gone, the Cincinnati Bengals are currently the only team in the AFC North that isn't scrambling to find a new head coach. That is right. While the rest of the division is burning down, the Bengals are safe, secure, and locked in with their leader. You might have your own mixed feelings about him, but Zack Taylor is now the last man standing in this division. He is the only employed head coach in the AFC North. While our rivals are interviewing strangers, we have continuity. We are going to break down the desperate coaching searches for the Steelers, Ravens, and Browns, but we have to stick with the Tomlin shocker for a moment. He was an icon. He tried for one last ride with the veterans, Cam Hayward, TJ Watt, but the wheels finally fell off. I don't know what happens to those superstars now. With Tomlin out, does the roster blow up too? This affects the Bengals, the Browns, the Ravens, and the entire landscape of the league. Here is something I need you to really think about. With all this turnover, should the Bengals be sitting this comfortably? Does the chaos elsewhere justify sticking with the status quo in Cincinnati? Or are we missing a window to upgrade? Let's talk about the Mike T legacy. He took over in 2007, inherited a fantastic roster, and kept the machine running. He stepped into a franchise with a Hall of Fame quarterback and a winning culture. The stat everyone throws around is the no-losing seasons record. It is impressive, sure. Winning 9 or 10 games every year is consistent. But look closer at the last few years. It has been fool's gold. 7 straight playoff losses. TJ Watt is 0-5 in the postseason. That is the reality of the late Tomlin era. It was always the same story. Start hot, stumble in the middle, scratch and claw into the playoffs, and then get bounced immediately in the wild card round. It was a cycle of mediocrity that kept them good, but never great. I have plenty of friends who root for Pittsburgh, and for years I would ask them, "Are you still happy with Tomlin?" And for a long time, they defended him. They said he was the glue holding it all together. But recently, that tune changed. They were ready for a reset. And now that they have it, I think this is a massive advantage for Cincinnati. The Steelers are an organization that prides itself on stability. They have only had 3 coaches since 1969. Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin. That is it. Now they are thrust into the unknown, and that is a scary place to be. But it is not just Pittsburgh. The entire division is being gutted. John Harbaugh is done in Baltimore. Kevin Stefanski is out in Cleveland. It is a total wipeout. The iconic, tough, gritty AFC North is suddenly looking for boy-genius play callers and trendy offensive minds. The old guard is gone. Mike Tomlin isn't coming to Paycor Stadium anymore. John Harbaugh isn't staring across the field. Kevin Stefanski isn't scheming against our defense. So, I have to ask you the big question of the day, and I want to see your answers in the comments right now. With the Steelers headless, the Ravens rebooting, and the Browns being the Browns, are the Cincinnati Bengals indisputably the best team in the AFC North right now? Type 1 for yes, the Bengals own the North. Type 0 for no, they still have work to do. Let me know what you think down below. Let's look at the Steelers' situation a bit deeper because it is going to be weird. This is a fan base that does not know how to handle a coaching search. They aren't used to the carousel. And look at their roster. It is full of question marks. Is Aaron Rodgers done? Is Cam Hayward retiring? TJ Watt isn't getting any younger. Could DK Metcalf want out? This could be a full-blown rebuild. The names being floated for Pittsburgh are fascinating. We are hearing Brian Flores, which makes sense defensively. But I honestly hope they go for a nerdy, new school play caller. Give me a Mike McDaniel clone or someone like Davis Webb, who isn't even 30 yet. How fun would that be? The big, bad Steelers led by a kid with a tablet. It completely changes the intimidation factor of that rivalry. Now, bring it back to Cincinnati. While everyone else is panicking, the Bengals' biggest worry is whether they can keep their staff together. Dan Pitcher is a hot name right now, specifically for the Cleveland Browns job. If Pitcher leaves, who steps in? Do we see a Brian Callahan return? Maybe the Bengals look at someone like Mike McDaniel if he is available? Dan Pitcher has done a phenomenal job developing this offense, and his background in scouting gives him a unique edge. It would be a blow to lose him, especially to a division rival. Speaking of rivals, the situation in Baltimore is just as shocking. John Harbaugh and the Ravens. It feels like a divorce that was long overdue. It is another example of a relationship that just ran its course. He has been there since 2008, but sometimes you just need a new voice. The Ravens aren't wasting time. They are interviewing everyone. They still have Lamar Jackson, so that job is attractive. But hearing names like Cliff Kingsbury connected to NFL head coaching jobs again? I don't get it. I really don't understand the obsession with Kingsbury. We are also seeing names like Matt Nagy, Vance Joseph, and Jim Schwartz popping up. Schwartz has had an incredible resurgence as a defensive coordinator, and Robert Saleh is getting looks again after going back to San Francisco. But the Ravens are also looking at younger guys. They are looking at Jesse Minter, Harbaugh's right-hand man, which, let's be honest, feels like keeping it in the family a little too much. They are looking at Anthony Weaver from the Dolphins and Chris Shula. It is a wide net. And then there is Cleveland. The Browns are doing what the Browns do, blowing it up. Kevin Stefanski is out, despite the Coach of the Year awards and the playoff appearances. It seems crazy on paper, but if you followed them closely, you could feel the tension. It was just over. Now they are looking for the next young offensive genius. We are hearing names like Grant Yudinsky from the Jaguars and Nate Shieldhouse. They are trying to find the next Sean McVay, but they might end up with another disaster. Promoting someone like Tommy Rees? That feels like a mistake. And Todd Monken? That feels like a filler hire, not a guy who takes you to the Super Bowl. It is a nightmare scenario for Browns fans if they hire the wrong guy, but for us, it is popcorn time. The reality is simple. The AFC North is in a state of total collapse regarding leadership. The Steelers, Ravens, and Browns are all hitting the reset button at the exact same time. Meanwhile, the Bengals are sitting back, sipping a cold drink, and watching the fire burn. We have our head coach. We have our franchise quarterback. We have stability. In a league where continuity is king, Cincinnati has a massive head start on the 2026 season. The division has changed forever. The faces we love to hate are gone. The strategies we memorized are obsolete. It is a new day in the AFC North, and right now, the sun is shining brightest on Cincinnati.